When you think of a John Woo film, you likely think of this, this, or this. When I think of a John Woo film, I think of this. In a career spanning 6 decades, the Hong Kong filmmaker has become acclaimed worldwide thanks to his revolutionizing style of action. Inspired by wuxia cinema and his mentor Chang Che, he blended the use of acrobatic sword fighting of Chinese cinema with the modern criminal underworld of Western gangster movies, his heroes using dual pistols and jumping away from explosions in slow motion instead of flying through the air with strings. When he released A Better Tomorrow in 1986, Wu injected new life into the action genre, and to this day the influence of his style is felt in countless movies featuring slickly dressed killers mowing down endless waves of faceless gunmen. This subgenre became known as the heroic bloodshed, and while it is characterized by high body counts and bloody bullet wounds, a key aspect that is often forgotten is the melodrama. While many action films feature no-nonsense, laconic protagonists who let their gun do the talking, similarly to the characters in the films of Peckinpah and Melville, the films of John Woo put a strong emphasis on the characters and their relationships. All of his films are about brothers in arms trying to make some good on this earth, the lack of honor in an increasingly corrupt world, adhering to your principles even if they might lead to certain death, and the integrity and respect among men as signs of a true hero. When you watch an Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone vehicle, you rarely see them vulnerable, let alone break down and cry. Meanwhile, almost every John Woo story shows the humanity and vulnerability of his main characters. This approach is due to Wu's empathy and sensibility. His Christian upbringing made him very close to spirituality and the ideas of the damnation of the soul and redemption bathed in blood, with more or less overt religious symbolism appearing multiple times in his films, while his shyness made him create both strong and sensitive characters, true friends sticking together through thick and thin, facing various adversities, knowing that they're not alone and they've always got their back covered. To show just how heightened the characters of John Woo are, take Jean-Pierre Melville's classic Le Samourai. Contract killer Jeff Costello carries out a hit in a nightclub only to be spotted by a piano player. The film becomes a game of cat and mouse between Jeff and the police and mob slowly closing in on him, but the direction is purposely slow and methodical. The action sparse and unflattering, Jeff Costello, an anti-hero that virtually never smiles or shows signs of affection, and the ending tragic in a very low-key way. Now compare that with John Woo's The Killer, which essentially starts off as a remake of Le Samourai. Contract killer Ah Zhong, who's named Jeffrey Chow in international versions, executes a killing inside a nightclub, only for a singer to get caught in the crossfire, losing her eyesight. Melville shows his protagonists as barely human, never showing signs of warmth or regret for his actions, feeling completely hollow inside, while Wu has Ha Zhong feel immense sorrow and repentance for his actions, looking after the singer and falling in love with her, doing anything in his power to save her eyes. The action is excessive, with the bloody squibs covering our protagonist in red, and the climactic church gunfight leading to a shockingly bitter ending that is spiritually akin to what Melville did. You can feel that Wu genuinely cares and believes in what he is telling. While many other melodramatic films end up feeling silly or hokey, his are always genuine, coming from the heart. Wu's genuine approach is what absolutely makes the narrative more memorable. While slowing down the action helps in highlighting dangerous stunts or key events that would otherwise pass too quickly, he also uses it in narrative, emotional moments to amplify the emotions of the story. The use of music is also key in making these narratives resonate with audiences, using sweeping orchestral scores, leitmotifs that play with different instruments to differentiate one part of the story from the other. All of this brilliantly comes together in his films, crafting standout sequences of character drama and action that are hardly ever taught by other genre filmmakers. When Wu started making films in Hollywood, many criticized them for being full of hammy performances, being disposable, idiotic, and throwaway pleasure. The main problem is that, unlike most of his Hong Kong output, he did not write any of the English language films, but I believe that he managed to improve otherwise mediocre scripts, infusing them with a strong amount of pathos that is often avoided in American cinema. That is the level of purity present in the genuine melodramas of John Woo. It might seem ridiculous, but all of the emotions are amped up to 11, be it the brotherly love between Ho and Kit, the friendship between Han Zhong and Sidney Fang, or Inspector Tequila and Alan, the rivalry between Castor Troy and Sean Archer, and even the romance between Ethan Hunt and Naya Nordoff Hall. Everything comes from the heart, and that's what makes the cinema of John Woo so special. They may not be the most thematically rich films, but in a genre that is too often preoccupied solely with spectacle, watching something so genuine and full of character is undeniably beautiful.